Tansei, hello, welcome back. I'm Sipaku Waskatawi Win, Blue Lightning, and I'm here with part 3 of my heritage, a little bit about my Cree people, the Neo-Winiwak of northern Alberta, Canada. I talked a little bit about my ancestors' lives. I, I'm just the reason why I'm bringing this up is just to talk about like how a lot of the teachings and things were passed down, who they're passed down through, to explain to you why I have this spiritual belief and cosmic view of my life, and talk a little bit about the truth about my ancestors' experiences and life and ceremonies that were happening. And I hope you guys enjoy. So I left off with Mustis's passing and where he was buried and what happened after, and now I'll talk a little bit about like my life and uh, you know I grew up in my nation and was a part of a lot of ceremonies at a young age, a lot of sweat lodge ceremonies and not only that, but I was also a native grass dancer of my community, and so I was part of the powwow trail, and I was also a drummer, singer, and things like that. But realistically, I did it for my own understanding of the world, and like I always felt think that was very important to preserve in my life, to understand and to navigate through this existence. So as time went on in my life, I had a lot of different spiritual teachers and a lot of different I should say guides and from the light of the universe that helped me understand this existence for what it is. And they tell me these tales and tell me the stories of my ancestors, and especially Mustas, and some of just the legends and stories our people would tell like during hunting trips as like just jokes or entertainment, and it'd be like teachings, because essentially like our teachings, our origin stories is like all through like it's all through the animals and through the land and like our cosmic connection right through the stars and star beings. And so with that being said, I just wanted to talk about yeah, so like our people, we don't we don't fear like we don't fear the darkness or the dark energies or anything like that. It's just we just don't we don't involve our time or our energy with it, right? We tell ourselves like tell our people like, oh, don't even mention that that being, like the true name of that, the dark one, right? You guys call it the Wendigo, which is not the right name. So I don't even care what, like, that's not what what it is. But like when the real actual name is said, it's kind of like you don't want to be bringing that energy around, or you making your energy, because like you're tying yourself to that kind of thing, right? And I see a lot of people out there on the internet go, oh, I'm going in the woods tonight, and they go and actually say the words, right? And then I'm like, okay, dude, like that's another thing. Like you can call it out and stuff like that and whatever and things, but usually these beings, they like they'll actually like go after people in power or things like that, have like capabilities of that, like usually it was like a advanced hunter or something, or an advanced spiritual person that they took a hold of and used, like and usually the people would just go crazy kind of deal. Like a lot of these people would go crazy, and the way it was explained to me was like the dark spirit would come from a dark realm and inhibit somebody's like latch on to their spirit, like a tether or something, like from their dark void. And people would have to work very hard to uh, cleanse themselves, or to rid that darkness away, and what was I saying here? The darkness that usually like tries to latch onto people is there, like as a result from people doing negative things like to others, or they're opening those kind of doors for negative things to happen. Like those people, those like they're dark force workers, or dark I don't want to say dark force workers, more like just like dark spiritual believers, and they would do that kind of thing because they're usually possessed by this thing that promised them something that would never come. And our people weren't like I said, like at first we weren't aware that they were doing that thing until we had ceremonies. We had to conduct spiritual ceremonies to get advice from the light of the universe, like our spirit realm, the people where our human of spirits of light connect and ask for guidance, right? Because like we were never aware of that, what was happening out there, right? And so a lot of times when bad things like or like when uncertain things happen like that, our people usually conducted ceremonies for guidance, and it came from the stars, or it came from universe light. That's how we looked at it. And that's actually what our name means when they say Neo and Neo Wak. Neo for, and then Neo Wak, Neo Win, Neo Wak, people of the four directions. Neo Wak is directions, and Neo Win is people. So it's that's what our name means, right? It's we believe in the four directions of the universe, and like I said, that realm, the spiritual realm, and connections, the wheel of life, and yeah, it's like it's a deep-rooted connection that goes back for centuries and thousands of years to the mammoth eating days, as I like to joke. But you get what I mean. And as I like to say, is like there was a lot of different dark entities that would try to come through, and not only the one that people know about, but there was like other ones like that were like from the ancient times, like I was saying there, like the mammoth eating days. There was different kind of like animal beings and people that existed back then that were very malicious and very like cannibalistic, and they were kind of like wild people tribes, but more animalistic than us humans. Like they were able and capable of eating other humans, and they were known as the man buffalo eater people. Yeah, and they were very strong. They were structurally more bigger and built than us, but they weren't as big of tribes as ours. Like they were smaller groups, and it was often because of their brutality and their brutish ways. Like they'd often eat each other too, and like I said, they just smash somebody's head, like crush it, or just rip a neck off, or rip somebody's arms off, or just pick them up and break their backs or snap them. They were like the way they tell the stories is like, it sounded like absolute warfare, like a brutal fight, yeah, they often said that these things were like, even though it would be like only like 10 of them, they'd still take on quite a few warriors and destroy a lot of people. And so they, like, a lot of bands had to like group together to fight them in the ancient world, like, and to really to save, like, the rest of the other tribes. They kind of banded together to kill them off, right? These buffalo eater people. And they did, and it was like I said, it was a tale that ended up resulting in like these bad, because they had their own spirituality, right? So they became their own dark entities, and they ended up haunting a lot of our people for many years to come, and a lot of times our you know, there would be like hauntings where people have to like get them cleared out, or like our people, or like our medicine men or like headman would have to come through and like clear out an area from it, or and you know, the way it would sound is like, you know, just knocking trees down, or you know, even as a spirit form, right? And the only time that we've like dealt with it modern times is like I was just a kid, and my uncle Russell was clearing a house, and this is like a family house, and when he was in there, there was just running. You could just hear this like stomping in the house while he was in there smudging and praying for the house, and all of a sudden all the windows just cracked and just busted like at the same time, and he come walking out backwards from the house, like still facing, because he couldn't turn his back to that being, or else it'd just run up on him, right? So he ended up like, okay, we're gonna all have to pray, and we all prayed, and he ended up going back in with this buffalo hide to capture it, and so he captured the spirit in this buffalo hide, and he brought it out, and put it in the back of his trunk of his car, and in the trunk just like, and everything just went down a little bit, shook, like, because it was so hot, so heavy, right? And then he's like, okay, now we need to put like these pails and things like that. There was all these different like medicines in them that were smoldering, and we need to pray for this house and cleanse it for the next like 4 days and 4 nights, and nobody's to go in and or out unless it's somebody with this smudge and all these things, eh? So like I was there like when they would change out all the different medicines used to cleanse that home, and the prayers and stuff that was going on there for the next few days. And I remember just looking at everything, it just felt real like just weird, and yeah, all the glass on the rug, and yeah, things like that was like pretty interesting, like just like I remember a lot of these like vividly, right? And yeah, it was a very trippy time, and I remember like thinking like, oh whoa, like that was pretty like what was that like? It was a, you know, one of my first experiences as like a kid, like when it came to like the darker like reality of spirituality, because like all I knew was like prior to that was like sweat lodges and gatherings and, you know, celebrations kind of deal. So that was like one of the first ones where I experienced something on that scale like that. But there are darker realms, like where sometimes these dark beings or spiritual entities try to come out and latch onto the light of our souls and spirits, because they can't escape that realm, so they try to use us to escape and commit chaos is what they do. You know, it's what they ultimately love and enjoy. So, you know, I figured I'd talk a little bit about that, and you know, figured I'd share a little bit about that. But we're nearing 15 minutes. In the last video I went on for 22, so I can't do that again. I need to keep this one at around 15, so I'll just I'll try to continue on here for what I can. Yeah, so there's a lot of like wild stuff like that I've encountered, like from my experiences with the healings and sweat lodges and stuff like that with my uncle and my Uncle Russell. And I figured I'll talk a little bit about some of that coming up here in the next video, part 4 of this series. This is a good part 3. So I'll catch you guys on part 4.